All right, so today we've got all the goats in the barn. I've got about 10 to 16, something like that, that we're going to CIDR. I got to get everybody counted and then decide how I'm going to do my CIDRs, because I don't want to pull more than 2 a day. And you don't want to leave a CIDR in more than 15 days, 14 days. So then we may have to do 2 groups of those. So I want to get everybody out that's not planning on being bred. Then I'll be able to look at what I've got in here to be bred. We're getting ready to wean next week too. We're off for spring break from school where we teach. So I'm going to wean some of them, or this whole group, next week. And the reason I'm breeding in April, I'll put the buck in about mid-April. I want September babies. Reason I want September babies is so that my bucklings that are born in September can be ready for winter market. So September gives me October, November, December, 3 months. 3 months. January, they should be hitting that 50-pound mark. That's 4 months. If not, the second group would be February. They should definitely be 50 pounds in 5 months or a little over. And after watching the market this year, goats went to 4 or 5. Some crazy numbers you're seeing were like almost, $6 a pound at some of the markets. The reasons are prices are always higher in the winter. It's just the fact that the number of goats is down. And they're down because they're seasonal breeders, and not a lot of people spend the time and the money to use hormones to get them ready to breed. So the price actually goes up because the demand is still level, but the number of goats goes down, which makes that demand and the prices go up. Well, listening to podcasts and listening to buyers, so not only for the next 3 to 4 years maybe is there going to be that general demand, higher demand for goats, but you have to understand too that Islamic holidays, they move backwards every 2 weeks or so every year. They're going to start, they fell late March this year, so it'll be March, February, January, December. So those holidays drive the prices up during a normal time because they're using more sheep and more goats. So our hopes is to get some cash flow moving during the winter by having a few of those goats and sheep to sell at those high markets. And hopefully that'll help us be able to buy feed and hay and things that we need during the winter, not being dependent on one kidding or one lambing a year. So we're going to try to do a little bit of that this year, see if it works. It may not be a good plan, but we're going to give it a try. You never know if it'll work until we try it. Some have to use CIDRs and hormones, and that's what we're going to do, is use CIDRs, and we'll give them a shot of PG600 when we pull that CIDR. We'll pull the first CIDRs at about 7 days. We'll go over that protocol again, during the time that we're pulling those. We'll let out the ones that we don't want to work. We'll work some of those and see what we can get done as a one-man show today. So I'm just going to use a strap today. This works good. We can open it up and run them in here and close them up and get them confined into that little space. I probably should get something like a gate with some hinges, but I just keep this. You silly guys, look out, look out, look out. What'd you do that for? You're so curious. What I've done now is take the strap here, and have used the strap to make a hinge for my gate. Look out, look out. Come on, guys. And then I can, come on, let's go. Slide that over. There we go. I've got another one that's going to help me with this a little bit. I have figured it out in the past. There we go. That'll give me a nice little run, and then I can just pull that through and latch it. We'll get that set. That'll be fine. So as you can definitely tell, some of these are not in shape to be bred because we're just getting ready to wean their babies off of them. I'm not doing that to those goats. They're going to be later in the fall breeding when they bred last time. This is a group that had kidded early, and we're just stepping them back about 3 to 4 weeks from October to September kidding, just to get the kids a little bit bigger for that market time. So we're definitely not breeding some of these. I just don't want you to think we're doing that. Easy, I'm just putting the mark on it. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. Right. And everything else waits. Right. So we got 3 more. All right, this is a CIDR. It contains progesterone, okay? And the CIDR, CIDR, stands for Controlled Internal Drug Release. So that drug release is the progesterone. Insert it, put the CIDR into the insertion device. Down in there like that. Make sure that we've got plenty of lubrication for the animal. And ladies, for sure, if you're using these, make sure you are wearing gloves, because it could affect your progesterone levels. Got that one on. See if we can get the last one. Alright, got the gloves on. Inserted another CIDR. Got some lube. All right, let's grab a doe. Come on, gotta turn around. Gotta turn around. There you go. Turn your butt around. There you go. That was easy. Good job, girl. XK 120. One more in this group. Alright, so we've got 6 CIDRs in, and we've weighed 4 or 5 kids. I'm gonna go ahead and pull some more in. I'll turn you off and I'll kind of bring you back when we're finished. You don't need to watch the same thing over and over and over again, so we'll get it done. They're used to time those animals or to program them to get bred when you kind of want them to in a sequence. So we've got 9 of them CIDRs in. In 7 days we'll start pulling those 9, and that same day we need to put, I think there's 3 or 4 more that we'll put in. And then when we get all those pulled, it'll be time to pull those last 3. They'll get those 7 to 10 days. But I want to release maybe 1 at a time so that I can just bring 1 buck specifically that I want to breed them. Hopefully that'll work out well. We won't overwhelm him trying to pull 3 or 4 at a time and him trying to get them all at one time before the next group comes in. So plan is to pull around 1 a day. I don't want them to cycle out before he has a chance to breed them, because I want them to get bred, and I want to take my time pulling those CIDRs. I'll be over here every afternoon anyhow, so I'll just pull 1 and mark it, and pull 1 and mark it like that. So you've seen us insert the CIDRs, and again, we're doing it so that we can have some September kids in hopes that we'll have some bucklings to sell that are big enough, or bucklings that are big enough to sell during that January, February, and March market, and keep us some cash flow coming in the winter when we all know, hey, quit trying to get my so hopefully we'll get some of those bred. We'll have some babies. They'll be big enough during that winter market when the prices are high. We can sell some of those bucklings at high prices, keep some cash flow coming in through the winter so that we can buy feed, and sometimes that's a long stretch without any income coming in. That's the plan. We'll see if it works.